What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. My name is Kara Michelle. I'm here to help you live your truth. And this is a really cool video. I want to share a bit of a divine download I had the other day while chatting with a client on the phone. And something that just I'll get into it in a second, but really, really powerful realizations about who we are, how we stay limited and stuck in the cage. And I'm not talking about Nicolas Cage here, although I really felt like that as I was writing the title. I don't know why. But this is going to help you so much if you find yourself getting stuck up here. Okay, so let's get started, right? Now, I was going to draw what actually came to me in this divine download. While I was chatting with a client, she was talking about a lot of the struggles she's been going through, a lot of the loops and negative patterns and negative feedback loops she gets stuck in around like what she's capable of, what she should be doing, what is the right way, what is like the path, what's possible, all these things, right? And maybe you've been there before. You can let me know in the comments if you've been there before, where you start to tell yourself this story around a situation. Maybe you desire something or you're ready for a change, or but then you tell yourself this story and all of a sudden you get caught in this really negative spiral of thoughts that are like bringing you down, limiting you, telling you all the reasons why you can't do it, getting you caught, stuck, cycled, spiraling, and like you get into this really negative place. I know I used to struggle with that a lot, okay? Let me know if you do too. You can just comment me, and then I'll know. You could comment something more exciting too if you want. That's totally cool. So she was sharing this. She was talking about like, this kind of vision she had for herself, what she was desiring to create in her life, but kind of all the stories and reasons why she felt like maybe she couldn't achieve it. So as we're diving in and we're talking about this, I'm sitting there and I just get this like image of a tiger in a cage. So obviously, I did not try to draw a tiger. We would all be in trouble if that were the case. So I just drew a little man or a little woman or a little non-binary. So we have someone who's in a cage, right? And the whole reason the tiger in a cage came to me is because the cage is like you are self-imprisoning yourself. You are putting yourself in this cage, and the cage is your thoughts. The cage is your beliefs, right? And this is the thing. So many people stay stuck in this place because they don't ever get a handle on their thoughts, and they don't ever realize that they actually can control what they're thinking. We all live in autopilot, and we, for some reason in the education system, are never taught how to understand how our brain works, really, which is like, why not? This is the most important thing. We don't learn how to manage money and finances. We don't know how to think for ourselves. Those are the two things that you pretty much need in this life, and we don't learn it in school. So we don't understand how our mind works and how it keeps us stuck. And so we continue to stay in these cycles and end up living unfulfilled lives. So I want you to comment down below, I am no longer in the cage. I'm breaking out of the cage. I'm breaking the chains, right? You are no longer a slave to your mind. You're no longer a prisoner to your mind. Now is the time to break free. And this all starts from the awareness. Step number one, always, is becoming aware of all of the thoughts that are going on in your head. And Eckhart Tolle has a beautiful, beautiful quote that I'm probably going to missay. I'm not going to say it the right way, but I remember he has a quote about, you're not the thoughts, you're the observer behind the thoughts. Something along those lines, right? He probably says it a little bit more eloquently, but this'll do. So you are not your thoughts. And yet, for how many years of your life have you just believed that everything that's going on up here is you? You have a thought about this thing that's going on. You have a thought about this stress. You have a thought about like, what if that happens? What if this happens? And all of these thoughts are now triggering hormones and responses in your body that are making you feel anxious or making you feel excited if you're thinking about the positives. Usually we're thinking about the negatives. So it's triggering a response to your body and you're getting caught in this. Your body now constricts or gets stressed. So you think that there's more attack and more threat. You feel worse. You doubt yourself more. You get more caught down. You feel worse and you just keep going. Now, all of a sudden your day or your afternoon or something is ruined because of the thoughts you've been having, and you don't realize that you actually have control over these thoughts because they are just thoughts. You are the being behind the thoughts. Please comment it down below. Affirm that. I'm the being behind these thoughts, right? I'm the being behind my thoughts. I am not my thoughts. I can therefore become aware of my thoughts. I can be removed. I can become the third-party observer who's just chilling over here like, hey, that's not a nice thought. Why did you say that? And like, oh, that's really mean. How'd you get there? And like, oh, you get to be the observer. And this has been such a cool journey for myself because I was that crazy anxious overthinker, like for years and years. I was that person who would sit and spiral. And because I was quiet, I've talked about this in other videos, I was quiet. I didn't feel like people really appreciated or listened to me when I did speak up, so I just stopped speaking up. But I also, sometimes I didn't speak up because I'm contrary to what some people might be surprised by. I am an introvert. I prefer to, I am an introvert. I like to really process before I speak, aside from when I'm on these videos, because then I just like get in the flow of stuff. But I like to process. So when I was in public things or situations, places, I would be processing like a million things a minute. I'd be processing all these potential scenarios. What if this happens? What if they say that? What will I say back to them? Then what would they say back to me? Then what would I say back to that? And then, oh, that might make me angry. And then I'm going to do this. And then what if they do this? And then all of a sudden I'd go, oh, but what if at step 1 they said this instead of that? And I'd tell out all these stories, all these scenarios. I'd go so far down the rabbit hole, get myself super worked up and stressed out. Not a comfortable place to be in, as you can imagine. Maybe you've been there before. And then the same thing with every single scenario, like, oh my gosh, I'm running late for this. What's gonna happen? How is this person gonna respond? Like, what am I going to say? How do I do that? Like, all of these thoughts, so many thoughts. And the average person has anywhere from like 40,000 to 70,000 thoughts a day. Crazy amounts of thoughts a day. But you have these thoughts. You are not these thoughts, right? And that's the discrepancy that I really want to get clear here. You are not the thoughts. Make sure, if you haven't already, please check out the free mindset training, because I share my 3-step system to break out of your negative and limiting mindset and create a new story for yourself. So if this is something you find yourself stuck in, you definitely want to check that out and watch it. It's going to blow your mind. It's going to teach you so much and help you in ways you can't even imagine to shift out of that place and reprogram your subconscious mind for success, for all the things you desire. Because it all comes down to here, right? So if you don't become aware of the fact that you are not your thoughts, you live your life on autopilot. So you have 40,000 to 70,000 thoughts a day. 95% of your life and your mind is ruled by your subconscious. This is just like the habitual patterns that you've done over and over and over again, and you're just going through them. You're not consciously aware of what you're doing. That's why it's called the subconscious, right? So you think about like the very first time you learn to drive a car, you have to be very consciously aware of everything because it's new, you don't know how to do it. You're like, oh my gosh, what does this mean? What does that mean? Like paying so much attention. Fast forward, think about like how many years have you been driving a car now, depending on your age. I'm not going to guess anything, right? But like it's like a subconscious pattern now. You know what to do this, you know to do this. You can just get into like a very big flow state while you're driving because you're so patterned and like it's so habitual to you that you're not totally aware. You're just like going through the motions while you're driving. Now, think about that in other areas of your life. The daily routines, the conversations, the relationships, the career, all the things that you're doing every single day that are just like subconscious patterns. So if you are like I used to be, the overthinker, the anxious person, right? And getting pulled into that spiral of what if this goes wrong? I'll never do this because of this, and all those negative thoughts, right? You have become trapped in a cage of your thoughts because your thoughts are now dictating your reality because your thoughts are influencing your actions. So if you're thinking, I can't do this because it's going to go horribly wrong, or what if all these things happen, so it's better for me to just avoid it, you are limiting yourself, right? That's why we call them limiting beliefs, because they're limiting you from doing things that you are quite capable of doing, but you have to believe it first. This is why I always talk about mindset, right? Because everything comes back to your mind. You can do anything you want in this life as long as you believe you can do it. But if you're telling yourself, and if you're telling yourself the limiting story, and if you're staying in that cage, you're never going to do those things, right? So I want you, or I invite you, or challenge you to really keep track of this, okay? When you're going through your daily life and these thoughts start to spiral, it's about like creating this separation, this distinction between who you are and the thoughts you're having. So like all these thoughts are spiraling around, they're making you feel shitty, and then you pull yourself back and you're like, whoa, this isn't cool. What's going on here? Where are these coming from? Why are they happening, right? Ask questions, become the observer, become aware of them. This is one of the most beautiful things I learned from all of my mindfulness teacher training and the books I've read, and a lot of the work I did in India was like, there's also Osho has so many amazing books on that. I'll do a book review sometime, but becoming aware of what's going on and like letting these thoughts just pass you by. So do not become a prisoner in this cage of your thoughts. You want to become aware. You want to grab those thoughts, shake out the bad ones, reinforce the good ones, build yourself up, feel like you are in control. And the most successful people in the world have done that. And that's exactly why they are where they are, because they got control of the limiting negative thoughts that kept them a prisoner, and they were like, see ya, bye-bye, and then they focused on reinforcing the things that were going to help them achieve what they wanted. It's all mindset. It's all mindset, everything. So please, if you found this helpful, make sure you hit the thumbs up, make sure you subscribe, turn on the notification bell. Please feel free to share with friends, family, anyone you know who's struggling with this kind of stuff who could benefit. Remember this beautiful, beautiful drawing I've got here for you of the stick man in the cage. And remember that like it's up to you of whether you stay caged into your limiting beliefs or whether you break free, right? You are a powerful, powerful being. You are here to move mountains. You're here to do amazing things in the world, but it all starts with conquering your mind first. There's no other way. You cannot achieve anything. I mean, I don't want to say you cannot because that's a limiting word, right? But like, it's going to be really, 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 really ridiculously hard to achieve the things you want if you don't conquer your mind first and get that under control. So again, thanks for watching. Please make sure you check out the mindset training too if you need more help with this. That will totally transform everything for you. Check that out, and I'll see you on the next video. Get control. Break out of that cage. That's it. Bye.